another dishwashing ritual. And so I'm going to wash the dishes and then I'll talk about something. I don't know what. We'll get to that as we go, because as I wash the dishes I just like to think about different things, and I don't really have much of a plan today, so we'll just see where it goes. Listening to U2 with Washing the Dishes, a great CD. How to dismantle an atomic bomb. Good one for washing the dishes. So what do we have today? For lunch today we had pork on the frying pan here, and then some pizza, which is you heat them up kind of with a steam from boiling water there. A pizza, it's kind of like a dumpling type of thing. Anyway, we had a sauce over this pizza and with some pork, which was really good. There's the leftovers, and we had some fruit salad with that, so that was delicious. So I'll get the water turned on. You can see I have my watch and ring that I always put up there when I'm washing. And I'll put the plug back down in here. Add some soap again. A little more there. Alright. So I'll let this get going here. I'll start washing up and then I'll talk to you a little bit. Alright? Alright. As you can see, I got everything washed up, and now I just have to dry it to put it away. And I was wondering what I was wondering what I should talk about, and I got thinking about Valentine's Day is coming up, and what is love? What is love? This is maybe a little deeper topic than I was ever planning to talk about, but I don't know. Yesterday, me and my wife were watching a TV show, and there was this guy, and he was like dating this girl for a couple dates or something, and they were having a good time, and then at the end of one of the dates he was telling her, I really like you, but I have something to tell you. I have a wife. And of course she was all angry, and he said, but don't worry, it's I'm seeing you because I'm falling in love with you, and I just feel myself falling in love with you. And blah blah blah, they went on, and at the end of the show those two kind of stayed together or whatever, and they were going forward, and so it seemed like, that's okay, he's falling in love with her, so then he'll leave his wife and stuff like that. And these phrases like falling in love and love at first sight, and I just get really sick of that sometimes. It's not that I don't appreciate those phrases, and I'm not saying that they're not accurate sometimes, but I think they get so misused today, and create such a bad impression for people, and to work through thinking about love. Love at first sight, for example. I don't believe in that term. Now, love at first sight, actually it happened to me. When I first met my wife, it was love at first sight. I knew that I would marry her, and we're married, for 10 years now almost. And but I don't believe in that phrase. So what does that mean? It sounds crazy. I'm talking about. Am I showing myself here? I'm getting a little. This is a bad topic to get too excited about here. But what does that mean? I'm saying I don't believe in the phrase love at first sight, but it happened to me. Well, the key word there is believe. I don't believe in that phrase. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, that we meet somebody and you're very attracted to them. You maybe even have an infatuation with them, a crush, whatever word you want to use. But I think that's what happens sometimes. You're attracted physically or intellectually or personality-wise, or maybe everything. You're just really attracted to somebody. So love at first sight. It's an accurate expression, but it's not love. That's not love. I mean, when I met my wife, it was 10 years ago this coming September. It's actually a pretty good story. It's my favorite story to tell. I don't know. Okay, I'll make a very short version of it here, okay? When I was coming to Poland, I was coming to teach English, and I was just planning on doing it for 1 year, and then going back and continuing my studies in history, and just getting some experience in Europe and stuff like that. So I arranged to go to Hungary first. And a couple months before I got the call, a couple months before I was going to make the trip to Hungary, I got a call from the director of the program that I was in, and he said, well, we really need somebody to go to the city in Poland, and somebody that's qualified to teach history. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. The only reason I really chose Hungary was because the program that I was signed up with had the most connections with schools in Hungary, so they had a lot of opportunities there. It wasn't, that I preferred Hungary over Poland or vice versa or whatever. But when I had the opportunity that I was going to not only teach English but be able to teach history, I was like, great, that's what I want to do. And so I changed, my destination, and a couple months later I flew to Poland and came to this school, and the first night I arrived in Poland, I got driven here by a guy to my apartment that I'm standing in here, that he didn't speak any English, so they needed somebody to meet me at the apartment that spoke English and could give me the keys and explain what was going on. And so one of the ladies at the school I work at, she asked a girl there that was working at the school in the library and in the office if she would do it. And originally she said, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't like speaking English to native speakers, and I'm not doing it. But this lady, fortunately, at the college was very persuasive, and she convinced this girl to come and meet me at the apartment. And so when I came, this girl was waiting, and she had the keys for me, and she gave me the keys. She said her name, and then she showed me that she had bought some stuff for the refrigerator, and this is the kitchen, there's the room, and etc., etc. Maybe 2 or 3 minutes, probably at most. Boom, goodbye, she's out. And I didn't even remember her name when she had said it, because I'm not good with names when I first hear them. But I went, as she left, I went and I sat down in a chair in the other room, and I'm telling the absolute truth. I said out loud that I was going to marry her someday. And then I hit myself in the face, and I was like, what's going on here? Well, I'm getting a little too excited here, I think. And I was like, it's a long trip, it took, like 30 hours from the beginning to the end, and I was tired, I was in a new country, a new experience. I thought, forget it, I'm just, crazy. It's the last thing I was thinking about. It was the last thing I was thinking about in America was, finding somebody to marry. And so it was definitely the last thing I was thinking about coming to Poland for a year was finding a wife. But 3 months later, I proposed, and 1 year later, we got married. So it worked. So that was love at first sight, right? I mean, there's the definition of love at first sight, but I don't believe in that phrase, because yes, I was attracted to her, yes, I believe that I was meant for her and she was meant for me, but love was when I decided to love her every day, to love her for the rest of my life. Love was on December 4th, 3 months after this, when I met her, when I proposed to her and I asked her to marry me, and she accepted. And then the next year on September 1st, when we took our vows and we got married, and from that day forward we decided, we're going to love each other. And love for me is not some sort of, violin in the sky playing, and woo, and birds tweeting, and la la la, and roses flowing through your eyes. I mean, yeah, that's part of it. But real love is like deciding every day that I'm going to love her, to do stuff that even if I don't really like to do.